Hello everybody, my name is Daniel the Degenerate and I'm a member of the Supertux development team, and part of what I do for the team is making levels. One of my proudest projects regarding level design is the upcoming revamp of Bonus Island 1 for Supertux, as I've designed 10 level remakes in which I've taken all I've learned about level design and applied it, and I'm pretty proud of the results. Here, I've decided to take my knowledge of level design and share it with you all in order to make better levels. Disclaimers. This video is not a tutorial on how to use the level editor. There are literally like a million of those. Rather, this goes into the logic and psychology behind making levels that make them memorable, fun, and replayable. I've only seen one other tutorial on how to actually design levels, which is by Servalot. So I'd also recommend watching his video on the topic, which I will probably put a link to in the description. Also, I will not be focusing on stuff like difficulty, placement of things in the level, terrain, or more this time. Only on how to get started with a level will my focus for the video be. So without further ado, let's get into it. It all starts with an idea. Making a level, or an entry in a series of anything, really all starts with an idea. However, this video is intended to help you make your ideas for levels better, which will, in turn, make your levels better. Role of the level in the world. First, as someone who has made their own cartoon, I like to equate the role of a level in a world to the role of an episode in a series, or a song in an album. You can choose to make it either serialized or episodic, and it really just depends on your preferences. I personally prefer more episodic style storytelling, so I'll be focusing more on standalone levels rather than how to incorporate them into a serialized world. The story of the level. You may be thinking, why do you liken level design to a story? My level's not going to have a story. And my response is, actually, all levels have a story to them. Even if your level doesn't explicitly have any cutscene or lore in it, the progression of your level is a story in itself, in my opinion. And all levels can be described this way. For example, a story of a level might be, Tux starts out in a flooded chamber and later finds his way out into a pit of vines. See, that's a story. Another one may be, what if you went throughout a level, but it went from being like tamer and drier to being intense and rainy later on. Now, how does this relate to how to design your level? Make levels unique. Well, usually you want your level to have a point, and usually this incurs making your level completely unique from the 90% of other levels out there. Because if you're making a level that's just like every other level, then why are you even making it in the first place? It already exists. One pitfall that even the best level designers make, especially since Supertux used to be entirely based around levels like this, is, oh, I'm just gonna add a couple filler levels that focus on just running and hitting bad guys. And to that, I say, nope, nuh-uh, get rid of it, cut it out, get rid of it. Your world is going to be so bogged down and it's going to be so boring by doing that, especially since it's already been done a million times. You're literally just wasting your own time if you do that. You want your levels to be unique so that the player is provided with a new and interesting experience every time they open a level. Isn't it so much better for a player to say, hey, remember that level with so-and-so about all your levels? Even if you have a super basic level, you can still make it interesting and non-filler. For example, the most boring and fillery level in the story mode, The Journey Begins, still rectifies its existence by teaching the player about the star power-up. Every single official level made for 0.7 so far is almost completely unique from any other level, and it has definitely made the game a lot more fun, at least in my opinion. So now that we've established that you need to make a unique level, how can I get ideas for actually starting the level? Types of levels. Well, there's two methods I've noticed 0.7 era levels use for designing. You can either make a level focused around a play style or a gimmick. Designers, such as Rustybox and Frost, usually go for more playstyle based levels, whereas designers such as myself, Sevenberry, Ali, and Servalot usually stick to a specific gimmick. Neither is better than the other, but both of them will help you make your level memorable and replayable. I'll go into both, starting first with playstyles, since those level types are more common and it's a little easier to go into. Playstyle levels. Levels based around playstyles usually make the player engage in a certain, broad type of gameplay without specifically being centered around anything. For example, you can make a level focused on slope sliding, a level focused on swimming, a level that makes the player engage in moving through moving platforms, a level focused on hitting a lot of switches, a level focused on going through a lot of doors, and so on. Usually these levels aren't extremely unique in a broader context, but they do separate themselves from other levels in the world they are from. Now onto gimmicks, which are a little more expansive for me to explain since they are the style that I'm usually used to. Gimmick levels. Gimmicks involve taking one or a couple things from the game and making the entire level based on that. Usually, you want to just focus on one specific gimmick and stick with it. Also, you probably want to narrow it down as far as you can, which helps it become more memorable. Otherwise, your vision for the level may be confusing and muddled. I personally prefer making the gimmick as unique as possible. For example, you can make a level about trampolines, but think about how many other people have also made levels about trampolines. If you want your level to be more memorable, try to think a bit outside the box here. For example, what if we made a level about trampolines, but there's spikes above some of them, so you can't bounce as high on some of them? See, already that's a little more specific. But I think you could also shed the focus on specific objects that are already offered in the editor and try to make something completely new. For example, I made a level where switches turn coins into metal blocks and metal blocks into coins. That's not something that comes explicitly shipped with the game, but something I completely created using the engine of the game. Other examples of this I will go into later. You also want to try and use your gimmick as often as possible and in as many unique ways as possible in order to keep the player on their toes. If you reuse the gimmick in the same way over and over, it makes the player bored. But if you keep finding new ways to use it, then they might still be interested. For example, I made a level in which the switches show you which tiles are fake, but the level ramps up in intensity as it adds more tiles to look out for, as well as different types of fake objects as well, such as spikes or ladders. Themes. If for whatever reason you can't use the previous advice, then the last ditch effort you can use in order to make your level unique is a visual theme. Supertux has so much to offer in terms of customization, so you can stick with your basic snow or snow cave or bridge, snow castle, forest cave, etc. type levels, or you can even make your own unique theme. For example, I made a level about a snowy glacier that was melting, which involved a lot of different layering between using like the basic snow tile set, the slick ice tile set, and others. Application. Now, let's take a look at my 10 levels for Bonus Island 1 and see how they incorporate this stuff. Out of the 10 levels I made, 1 of them was a playstyle level and 9 of them were gimmick levels. Of the 9 gimmick levels, 2 of them made use of pre-existing objects, whereas the other 7 had me create entirely new gimmicks for them. To explain these levels further, the one playstyle level was focused on maneuvering through a maze filled with a bunch of moving saw blades that rearranged itself halfway through the level. The 2 gimmick levels that used pre-existing gimmicks were as follows. One used the power-up star in unique ways, and the other used the new Yeti snowball in unique ways. The 7 gimmick levels that made entirely new gimmicks were as follows. A level where you must hit bonus blocks in order to make the water level rise or fall, a level where switches turn coins into metal blocks and vice versa, a level with pipes that retain your velocity when you go through them, a level with blocks that when grabbed reverse gravity, a level with fake terrain blocks that can be revealed through switches, a level with a ton of moving tile maps throughout the whole thing, and a level with switches that freeze or unfreeze water. I didn't even mention the themes of the levels here or the stories behind them, but already you can see how unique they are from the others. End. Overall, you don't have to make the craziest, most unique level ever. Just pick something that you think would be fun and unique, and then actually see if it would be fun to play, and if it is, then use it. Ultimately, I hope this guide is good enough in order to help you start creating some of your own awesome levels. Thank you.